All right, Carmel, Greater Carmel community, Chip Rarig, your City Administrator, Director of Emergency Services, Mayor Dave Potter, and Chief Paul Tomasi. I'm here at a hurry-up offense on a interim Friday letter message regarding protecting the village, protecting our staff. We wanted to update you real briefly on what's happening village specific and what we're doing to ensure, again, the safety of our staff and public, certainly. Today's the 19th of August, and it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We want to get this out of here before Maxine has an appointment in a half an hour. Again, in the form of our good government, we're trying to have good communication with you. We do have several employees who are impacted. Chief Tomasi, who lives in, unfortunately, in Las Palmas, has been displaced. Bo Grundy, Jermel Laurie, our code compliance coordinator, and our building inspector. Our thoughts are with them. They are safe, their families are safe, and that's the most important thing, clearly. Ashley Wright lives in the valley. She too is safe, so we're thinking about Ashley Wright, our library and community activities director. So everybody's safe, and we've got a great outpouring of donations from local hotels if our staff needs accommodations, and for those people who are displaced. So thank you, hospitality community, as always. We are working with the Monterey Santa Cruz chapter of the American Red Cross. The mayor had me working on that last night. So from what we understand, at the Carmel Middle Library, they had been distributing some vouchers, I believe, for overnight accommodations, and Miss Will tells me that apparently that they're now opening the facility for people that are displaced. We don't know that for a fact yet, so please check with the American Red Cross and the school district, obviously a little bit outside our village. Inside our village itself, we have canceled the farmers market for tomorrow, for Thursday, and Ashley Wright again took the good instincts on canceling our curbside book pickup for tomorrow and the rest of the week. The air quality out there is not safe. So Maxine's made some executive decisions as well regarding some of our staff and working outdoors regarding the horrible, dangerous air quality. So that's what I have. Mr. Mayor, what do you have to share, sir?
Well, Chip, I want to thank you for your responsiveness last night when I said we wanted to get some clarity from the Red Cross's availability. You jumped on it right away. I really appreciate that. I also think this is another example of a community that pulls together in hard times. We hear from the hospitality industry, they're going to open up rooms. We hear from community members, they want to participate, they want to donate, and that speaks well of this community. One of the things I'd encourage our citizens to do, whether you're in the unincorporated area or whether you're in Carmel proper, have a plan in place for what you're going to do when you need to move. Take those orders seriously when they come in. There's 3 levels of directive, but when they say it's mandatory to move, there's no time to then think about how to prepare. Now is the time to prepare for your readiness. Now is the time to get your valuables together. Those things that you know are perishable, that will the family mementos that you've had forever, that you don't want to lose. You obviously can't take your sofa with you, but you can take your photo albums. You can take photos of your kids. You can take the things that speak to your life and the things that matter to you, personal things that are non-purchasable, that are non-quantifiable. I would suggest now is the time to do that. Plasha Will, my business partner, my good friend, is doing that right now as she sits out there in Carmel Valley close to the Kashawa fire saying, I don't want to be caught unaware. Now is not a time to be surprised when you know a danger is imminent. That'd be my advice and it'd be my request to the community. Paul, I want to thank you too for your responsiveness. Obviously you're going through a lot yourself, but still you're on the job taking care of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that speaks volumes, if I may, really quickly. I think again, the village at this point in time, there is no danger, but preparing a plan, contingency plan, and the chief's going to talk about evacuation potential. I think that's good counsel, and again, just to tell our residents, of course, the village, there's no danger. We will communicate with you if there's any sign of a danger, and Paul, maybe you can touch on that.
And let me just say one thing, though, that lightning strike that occurred on Saturday night, it was amazing that we as a city were not hit by lightning. I stayed up and watched that show. It was scary, it was fascinating, it was surreal, but we were very, very fortunate there was not a strike here close to this town. So, Paul, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, there's a website too that can help you be prepared. It's readyforwildfire.org, and we'll put that on the Friday letter when we send it out. That's put out by Cal Fire, so that'll give you some guidance if you're wondering exactly what you need. But let's say we had an emergency here. Let's say we had a fire and we had to notify people. A lot of people wonder how we would. We have several different ways where we would do that. The first and foremost, most important thing you can do is register for alertmontereycounty.org. You will register your cell phone, your home phone, and your email. And should we have an emergency evacuation or notification, you're going to get it. I'm living proof of that. And I've gotten 2 in the last couple of days. One was an evacuation warning, and the next one was an evacuation order, and they come in quick. And it gives you all the information you need on what to do. And that's going to be our primary source of information that we put out. We also, if you remember, we tested the siren on top of the fire station last January 2019. We would use that again to notify people to try to wake everybody up. And we know that that's successful in reaching a large portion of our population. We also have police officers with PAs and patrol cars. We'll go around and we'll make as much noise as we can if people are sleeping. We're going to get you awake, and we're going to take care of you and notify you. We're also going to use social media, but there's a couple other things we can use too. One is the reverse 911 system, which the county dispatch will use, and we will call every single house with the same emergency message. Now, what are you going to hear? You're going to hear important information on that message. It's going to be read to you, and it also come across in text if you have a phone. It's going to tell you things about what is the emergency, what you need to do, what direction to head. It's going to tell you really where you can go for assistance, including shelters. That's important information we want to put out. So we'll have all that for you if it's needed. So if you hear that siren, if you hear police sirens and PAs, if you get a notification on your phone, it's going to direct you with information on what to do. So just be prepared and be ready. That's the best thing I can say to you.
Yeah, well, we don't have all the information about what's happening outside the village, but if something happens in the village, please rest assured, community, that we'll get you the relevant, pertinent safety information. We're tracking, as everybody else is, the information from CAL FIRE, their websites, Monterey County EOS, for what's happening outside the city. We're focusing on our own villagers, obviously, but we're tracking what's happening outside the city as well.
Yeah, one of the things, I talked to the fire department, the fire chief, assistant chief this morning. He said that we're very well protected with fire engines because we are in with a contract with several other cities. If we have a fire here, we're getting every engine that's available to fight it. So we have a great fire force that's going to come in strength to help us. Plus, we also have state help with CAL FIRE being our neighbor. So any fire we have, we're going to get immediate help with.
Great.
So.
I think it's unfortunate it's been branded the Carmel fire. I've had people from the East Coast, people from Southern California calling up saying, Dave, are you and Janine okay? How's the community doing? And I have to explain it's actually out in Kashawa, where everybody, nationally, they're not aware of the name Kashawa. But unfortunately, it does give us the hotspot issue where we're not, it's not really us per se, it's our neighbors that we care about very deeply. But it would have been nicer if it had been called the Kashawa, the Carmel Valley Fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to, Paul and I talked last night about asking CAL FIRE to change the name, and obviously they have their hands full.
Yeah.
So, so again, the danger, there's no danger to the village or its residents at this point in time, but again, we have an emergency plan. Mayor, you can speak to the potential for the peninsula becoming an island, as it has in storm events in the past. We still have a safe route out of off the peninsula to the north on Highway 1, should that be the case. And again, in the case of emergency, Chief, you would share with the villagers the best place to go and the best route off the peninsula if necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we've been working on for the past couple of years. It's been a discussion we've had with all the agencies and the county Office of Emergency Services, so they would be providing us direction. They have the maps, they know which direction we can go, what's safe, and we'll be tracking that as well.
It's one thing I pride this community on and this administration on is the preparedness that we're looking at now. Because you can have disasters in the past, but if you haven't learned from them, that's a mistake we don't want to make. And we've had so many other fires over the years that we actually have had good discussions in the community about what we should be doing if we need to be exiting the village.
Well, and I think that speaks to the work, the capital work that the council has invested in the last several years, and our Public Works Department, to reduce our fire fuel load. And, you know, spending money, quite frankly, to reduce that fuel load, and doing a lot of grid pruning as well. So making the whole community safer. The goats are in Pebble Beach. They're supposed to come here for Pescadero Canyon, but they seem to be eating slowly in Pebble. So we'll keep everyone informed on.
I was on the phone with my son just before I came over here. He was down in Santa Barbara. He'd heard that it was a Carmel fire and wanted to get some verification on what's going on. And he described this as well, 2020, the year that Mother Nature spoke. Obviously, she's not very happy, but it's unfortunate we're facing back-to-back disasters.
So I think that's what we have. Thank you both. Village, we're here for you. Thank you for your patience, and call or write if you've got problems or questions. And please, please, please take the best of care.
Absolutely.
Be prepared.
Have a plan.